My ball.
You my ball.
You my ball. You my
I'm
ball.
your ball.
You my ball. According to, I was listening to actually in I think it was Corinthians 3:7. I might be wrong, but it was talking about how you're supposed to. Did you know that you're supposed to give your body to?
I mean, it was a big white spot. Sorry.
Yeah, that your body ain't yours and my body ain't mine. You own my body, I own, but I don't own my own.
I read that. I just skip over it when we read.
Anyway, I know.
I never read that one to you.
I know this is. She breathed the one. She like. Hey, let me tell you something. Let me tell you something. I know this is random, but this is random. My wife will read through the scriptures that only she wants you to feel this one.
Only when it comes to
it said the man.
That's the one I said.
Anyway, out of the blue, I know this is random. Hey, y'all. So look. So check this out. I got a couple clips, but I wanted to really focus on the clip with this dude because I had him in our previous clip and it's hilarious. He's angry conservative black man that's tired of all this Negro fatigue, all this these colored acts.
People.
Yeah, them. No, they ain't my people. No, hey, first, I think this is how white people see N words and that be cutting up. Shout out to but we're gonna jump on, man. His name, I did the video on him. His name's Andre
from Detroit.
Andre from Detroit. And
Williams.
you know we did his before, but his stuff be so funny. He be on point, but he be so raw with it. It be funny. But we're gonna play through some of his.
I see a place that says, this is a black-owned business, I know it's going to be a fucking failure. These places only run off the fact that they're a black business. But they fucking suck. The food ain't out on time. The fucking workers are angry. They have an attitude. You niggas are closing at 7 when it says you close at 8. You have all these fucking problems. Why am I going to support you because you're black? Is your business good? Are you providing a good service? I don't give a fuck how black you are. Fuck that shit. This is the problem with black people. We want to support everything black. If it's black, we got to support it.
Right.
Shut the fuck. Everybody else do it. No, they don't. No, they don't. We're the only ones that do this ridiculous ass shit, and it fucking fails every time. Okay, let's support my black business. I got barbecue ribs. Guess what? And the shit's terrible. Nobody wants to eat here because you don't fucking do anything on time, and everything is shit. So guess what? Black businesses, fuck them. I don't give a fuck if they're black business. If it's someone who's working there and owns it and they're black and they're doing well, great. But this whole I'm black business, you got to support. Fuck that, and fuck. Black people are the least respected people in America. Why? Because we have no respect for anyone else. We want things done our way, on our time, and we don't care about what anyone else has to say or if they're in our way. We will push people down, push people over, go through them, kill them. It doesn't matter as long as we get what we want. This selfish mindset, this selfish mentality, this selfish culture that we have is extremely destructive. And this is why people come from war-torn countries, third world countries who have nothing, come here and see black people complaining about shit when they have everything and they choose not to do something with it. This is why people don't have any respect for black people. It's not because of racism. It's not because of slavery and Jim Crow. It's some stupid shit that we keep fucking using as a coping mechanism to move away from the conversation and the action that needs to be taken within our community for the betterment of ourselves and for the, just the productiveness of our country that we live in. We keep moving away from valid criticism about the problems that we have and try to use something else or blame someone else and say that it has nothing to do with us and it's not our fault. The reason for why Shimone is selling pussy is because black women, you raised your daughters to be like that. You sat here and shaked your ass and let dudes come in and out of your house every night. And guess what? Your daughter sees that and thinks that's acceptable. So instead of being a respectable woman that cares about her image and how she's represented within society, she acts like you're fucking nasty ass. The reason for why black women are the way that they are is simply because other black women have allowed young black women to follow in the footsteps of failure. Black women are going to continue to get treated poorly until they fix their image and represent themselves in a respectable manner.
Yo, he give it to you how raw.
It's goofy shit to say. Listen.
This is what I'd like RG3 to know, that no matter how much he continues to echo the microaggressions of racists, he'll be no less black than me.
Microaggressions? Nigga, are we in high school? Is this 2015? Are we on Tumblr? What the fuck are you talking about? I didn't know these fucking Google Plus talking points were still active and being used. People like Ryan Clark saying stuff like this just shows how weak-minded and unintelligent he is. Regardless of white people like what I'm saying or what RG3 or many other people are talking about, regardless if they feel any kind of way about it, good, negative, positive, does not matter. There still needs to be a conversation on the problems with black people, the problems of image and representation of black women, and the direction of black people overall. The entire point that he's trying to make is, regardless if you make these points, white people aren't going to accept you. Who fucking cares if they accept you or not? We still have a problem within our own communities. Black schools still fail. Black women still shake their ass and act like whores and represent themselves poorly. We still have problems that still persist and grow each and every day and get worse. So no matter if we sit back and we submit and agree with you clowns, you still aren't going to view us as black or accept our proposals and our perspective on the black community. There is no progress, there is no healing, there is no future with people like Ryan Clark, Ari Spears, Al Sharpton, any of these clowns, because they offer nothing, no solution at all.
That's right.
I want to comment on the Ryan. When black men fail, we fire them, we divorce them, we get rid of them. But when black women fail, we give them medals, we give them parades, we give them all these awards as if they're fucking great. In the black community, there are two different worlds that people are living in. One is reality, where things work properly and things should work in the way that they should, because they function, they have a function, purpose, and reason. And then we have this fantasy world that a lot of black people subscribe to, thinking that black women are exceptional, thinking that black men are the problem in the community, thinking that black men are the big contributors to the issues, when really the root of the problem goes back to black women. Black women have failed in raising children. They have failed to be leaders within the black community. And this is not due to racism or sexism. This is just due to, it's just the obvious fucking truth. This is the reality of things. Black women have just showed that they're not competent leaders. Does this mean that all black women are not competent leaders? No. Obviously not.
No.
But the ones that we put on a pedestal, the ones we put at the podium, the ones that we put out there to represent us have fucking failed. And we see this in the statistics.
I agree.
And apparently if you say this, you're racist, you're sexist, but honestly, who fucking cares? It's the truth. When black...
Keep going.
Stop calling yourself a black conservative. It's weak and uninteresting. You're no different than black liberals that use their race as a selling point to sell their bullshit ideology and worldview. Okay. Your identity shouldn't come from if you're conservative or if you're a Republican and if you like certain things. No, it should be wrapped around the ideas you promote, the values you hold, the things you want for your community and for yourself. Black conservatives spend more time trying to stand out than to set a standard, and it's a problem. I don't want a coalition of black conservatives. I want a coalition of Americans that know exactly what needs to be done for ourselves collectively in order to better the condition that we're in. There is no other identity more important than the American identity, our American values, our American culture. That is more important than if I'm a black conservative or if someone's a black liberal. I don't give a fuck about that. Can they solve problems? Are they working towards bettering the representation and image of our people as a whole, as Americans, and even as black people?
That's tough. So he's saying on this, that's tough. He's saying, you know, stop putting ourselves in this little category when it's just a group of us coming together. It needs to be a worldview that black people need to come together, and you don't have to entitle it. You just need, it's a worldview that he's saying.
Well, too, and then the way I look at it is you can just be a conservative or a liberal. You don't have to put your race in front of it.
Black conservative means it's almost like I'm black-owned business.
Exactly.
It's like I have to identify the race of this type, and it's like if you don't identify it, you don't feel like, I guess it's the feeling of I am.
Well, also, too, I feel like I agree with him on the fact of it doesn't matter what your party is or what do you stand for and what are you promoting and what are you doing? Are you solving the problem? What is the issue? Can we work together? Because we can work together.
Yeah, absolutely.
But
we have to adopt a whole nother worldview. We need a whole nother view as just the culture in general, because you got people that think like us and think like him, but then you got people that really on their good quality, but then they think they supposed to support the lower levels of us. Mm-hmm. No. You're gonna have to shoot, like you said, you're gonna shoot some of these folks in the cannon and shoot them off into Mars. But
black conservative. I just say I'm conservative.
I'm conservative.
Yeah, I don't put the black in front of it.
Yeah.
Black people buy what they want and beg for what they need. After black people get done burning down a community because they want to sit back and protest for some crackhead or criminal, what's the first thing black people say? White people need to come and help rebuild the community.
Right.
Black people have such a deep disdain for white people, but when something happens, who are the first people that they call? When the community start getting bad and ransacked with YNs, where's the first place that you run to? A white area. When your kid's school is failing, there's nothing but fights and drugs in the bathroom. Where do you send your kids? To white schools. Black people act as if access to white people is a basic human fucking right. We will sit here and constantly talk about how we don't like white people, but then demand to have access to what they have.
That's so raw. True. That's another raw one. Yes. That's another raw one.
So true.
And we do all this. And then what I have a problem with is typically our urban rap leaders in the game be the first ones to rap with the hood stuff, and then they kids, just like Jesse said, not Jesse, what's our guy? Jesse Lee Peterson said, they do all that boom, 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 but all their kids in private school. They ain't even with your kids, but they rap right there with you.
Exactly.
Make that money, bring that crowd to you. But I ain't put my kids over here with y'all.
No.
That's the same kind of thinking.
There's a big difference between black fatigue and white fatigue. Since there's a growing movement to call out black people and hold them accountable for their actions, there's been a counter hashtag that's been created, white fatigue. Of course, anytime you criticize black people have to find a way to get back at white people for doing it. When black fatigue, it doesn't just come from white people. It's something that almost every American experiences with black people. White people aren't the only ones critiquing black culture. It's everyone, every minority, be it Asians, Latinos, Arabs, everyone is critiquing the problems within the black community. So instead of taking accountability like we always do, black people want to say that white fatigue is black people's tiredness of white people killing black people for no reason.
Wrong.
Jim Crow and slavery. You know, the typical fucking bullshit that we hear from Tyrone and Jamal when we start critiquing the problems of the black community.
Right.
Black people, instead of deflecting and avoiding the fucking conversation, avoiding criticism, how about we just acknowledge that we have a significant problem with our image and representation, that our culture is cancerous, and we do everything within our power to defend it when it does nothing for us of any kind of benefit. Instead of trying to make change and push for things greater, black people will double down on dumb bullshit because we have nothing better to do. Crime is still going to be high in your community. Your property value is still going to be low.
Yeah.
Your schools are still going to be poor. Not because of white people or white fatigue. It's because of black people. And black people not holding themselves accountable.
Right.
I'm going to say, if I could picture a shirt of accountability, it would be this Joker's face. I put a shirt that said accountability.
Yeah. I mean, it's spot on to me. The comment said white fatigue. They think we care. That's the funny part. White people don't think about black people like black people obsess
about white people.
And
Oh my
that.
God.
I believe that.
She had 2,400 likes on that post because it's true.
Yes.
We thinking white people over here just like this. We got to protect us from the black guys. The black guys can't. Man, they ain't thinking about y'all.
Thinking about their own interests.
They're not thinking about y'all.
Not about yours.
Like the guy said. The guy said, he said, if you talking about a war, white folks in the woods doing calisthenics and training their kids, you
over there turning up 40s, smoking marijuana, smoking weed.
Oh, still to the turn up 40s, man. You caught me. You turned 1992.
No, that's what he was saying. That's exactly what he said.
No, I'm talking about turning 40s.
Oh, yeah, but that's what he said.
Drinking gin and juice in the hood.
And some people still drink.
Black woman, the reason for why you can't find a good man is because flies are attracted to shit. You chose a dude with the cut-up jeans. You know, he got the nice dreads on. He's got maybe a nice car, but he's got really no job. I don't know how he's got the nice car. We know how he does. He's got nothing going for himself. He doesn't take care of his kids. He's not an honest person. But you decided that you was going to let him into the night and have kids with him. And then what do? You go and complain and say, well, this is why niggas ain't shit. That's why men ain't shit. That's why I don't fuck with niggas. And guess what? But you did. And you had kids. And then not even that, you go and make the same mistake with someone else. Now you got 3 or 4 kids. This is a common thing we see in the black community.
Yes, it
is.
This
is black women
not
wanting to take accountability for their own actions, their own failure. You made these choices. You got with these men. You created these kids. You created every problem that you have in your life. It was created by you.
Yes.
Accountability.
Close your legs or get on birth
accountability.
control.
And that's so true.
Birth control.
Ain't nothing wrong when I can't stand that. You keep on, like you said. Keep on opening the legs. You keep going through it, but then you want to blame a black man? No, blame your mindset and your and what you got between your legs that you ain't closed up. Save that for your husband, but you didn't. You saved for all these dudes that you end up having a problem with later.
This is what black fatigue looks like.
I'm
just trying to get my sandwich, bro.
I'll leave.
This is why people are tired of black people. We can't even take y'all to fucking Subway to order a sandwich without y'all arguing and trying to fight each other. Black people like to think that the world revolves around them.
Yeah.
That you gotta wait on black people. We gotta get ours first. I'm gonna handle my business. I don't care about anybody else's shit. I gotta sit back and yell and scream and holler and act like I'm a little girl rather than a grown woman in a restaurant. This is another reason for why people don't take black women seriously, because they act like this. I don't care who was wrong in the situation. Both of you are hood rats acting like 2 children. This is the main reason for why I'm not even talking about white people, but a lot of minorities in this country are tired of black people because they have to deal with this on a daily basis.
That's true.
They have to go to restaurants and go to schools and go to parties and go anywhere. And this is the kind of behavior they see from black people. We take up a bunch of space. We sit back and we put all of our business out there for everyone to hear. And then when
Loud
someone says something,
phone.
oh, they in the wrong. Who the fuck are you? You need to mind your own business.
Oh,
you made
my
it
God.
everyone's business when you came outside to act a fucking fool today. So don't be surprised when someone wants to say something about it.
Oh my God, this is
This is
a
what black-
perfect example. When that you ever see when people
What?
that might have been over there. You ever see? You know what turns me off? And you ever see when you walk into a store and somebody coming in loud on their phone?
Mm-hmm.
It's one thing to like if like every now and then, you know, I've been to a store and I'll FaceTime you like because I need to make sure I get the right thing. You just say, yeah, not that one. We'll point with the phone. You say the right thing. But then one coming there, I told him. I don't know. I'm like, get out.
That happened when we were at the airport. One time we were coming in at Hartsfield. And we were walking by, and there was this girl. She was yelling and talking so loud on her phone. I was like, "Oh my God!" I mean, what happened here? Like, I never seen anything like when you are yelling to the top of your lungs on your phone walking through the airport. I was like, "Okay, that's what I started noticing it then." Little inclinations, you know.
Yeah.
I was like, "Okay, this is crazy."
It's not it. It ain't the way.
This is crazy.
It ain't it.
Why?
Black people are the least educated people in the country. Statistically, this is very true. Black people are less likely to go to college. Black SAT scores in this country are below the national average. Black households achieve academically less than white households and other minorities. The reason for why this is because in the black community, we don't put value on education. We put value into fun and having a bunch of bullshit, into spending our money, not of things that are serious and require a lot of hard work and dedication. We spend more time telling black kids they can be rappers and football players than to be doctors and lawyers. We don't put any value on education in the community at all. We tell black men to get this money. We tell black women, find you a man with some money. We don't tell people to actually go out and invest in themselves, build talents and skills that they can utilize in order to get paid for. Black people are more focused on being entertainers, being class clowns, and being the next thinkers and innovators of tomorrow. Then we get mad when the schools don't want to let us in because academically, we just don't belong there. Black people, we want better, we're going to have to do better and work hard for better.
That's right.
Yeah, and now
Black people
ain't
are
no DEI no more.
Right. No pass.
If you don't earn it and you haven't earned it, you don't know it, you don't have the knowledge, then boo. Next.
I'm glad that my black ancestors were enslaved. I think there's a good and bad to the historical enslavement of black people.
This will
Black
crush a lot of
only
people
wanna
on
look
this
at the
one.
negative of slavery. Although slavery is a horrible practice, it's disgusting. However, we benefited from slavery. The most beautiful thing about it is that we overcame it. Black people sit back and they cry about slavery. They sit back and put their head down and say, oh,
And still live there.
it was the worst thing in the world. No, I say it was the greatest motivation for us to push beyond the barriers, to push beyond these struggles that were in front of us, and to do better, to aim for greater. Our ancestors went through all this struggle, all this pain, so you can sit back here and complain about it and not do anything with the freedom that you have, with the ability, the talents, the opportunities that you have today,
Right.
greater than what they had it. This is why black people feel we don't take the opportunities given to us and try to make something with it. We want to sit back and try to scheme and scam and try to get something for free instead of working with what we have. Instead of black people sitting back here and crying about slavery, look at it as we are in the most powerful nation in the world, the most prestigious nation in the world, with the greatest opportunities, surpassing almost everyone in the world. That is something to be very lucky, very lucky. And there's only 330,000 of us and 50,000 of us blacks here in this country. I am very happy that I am a black American. I am very happy that I am an American at the end of the day. I would choose nothing else. I would choose no other
That's
country.
right.
I'm glad I
That's
live
me
in this
too, boo.
nation now, in this time now, and working
Amen.
towards things greater, because there is no other nation I would rather live in than the United States.
Bing. Check.
I'm glad.
See, that one is and then that one's a tough. I'm gonna read. That was the last one, but we're gonna like. People didn't like. See, most times people chime in and they loving what they're saying, but boy, people jumped on this. I'm glad my ancestors were laid. What the f, bro? Get off the internet. Slavery still happening currently in Africa, unfortunately.
Well, this man sees it right.
This man sees it. You sound like an effing idiot. You trying to make slavery seem like an opportunity. You lost the plot mate. White people were enslaved throughout history. While it's true that the transatlantic slave trade primarily involved enslavement of Africans, white people were also enslaved, particularly in North Africa and parts of Europe. The practice of white slavery predates and coexists with the slave trade,
With the
transatlantic slave trade, and even had a significant impact on early American attitudes.
Every
towards
race
slavery.
was enslaved. There was no race on the planet Earth that was not enslaved. That was how the world got to their trading system with manufacturing of goods, and that's how stuff spread all over the world because they used slaves in their own culture. Then
Relax.
Then the transatlantic
I'm only saying that because that's how she be getting on me.
But even before the transatlantic slave trade, black people were also using blacks as slaves in Africa.
Yeah.
There have been slaves since the beginning of time. The word of God talks about slaves obeying their master. That's how it was the word of God was used as a trick against slavery, in slavery.
And people still tricked on that. They still tricked on what the word
But
slave.
nevertheless,
But I think
do your freaking research. Good grief, I can't stand it. I can't deal with ignorance and stupidity. That's why I choose very wisely the conversations that I allow myself.
But this brother would be too harsh of a reality for a person
Oh, right.
that has not accepted the truth on black culture.
I'm sure he's
or
the same.
N-word culture.
He don't jump into every conversation either. It's no point. It's point. You can't have that type of conversation with someone who's not high.
Right.
Period.
Yeah, black people, not just white people. I'm only focused on the black side of this because I know white people tired of them kind of they tired of ignorant black. But black people have grown to the numbers. Now it's really rising of black people being tired of niggas
And vocalizing about it, being vocal.
You're tired of it.
About time.
That's crazy where it takes so long before things build a boiling point that your own people start being like, let me talk about you because I'm tired of it. And so
But where does the change?
I don't respect
Where does
it.
the change come?
You know where it come from, right? More people speaking up about it, and then what happens is they keep getting it. This information gets around to these people with this mindset, and now they start looking at this person that looks a little bit classier. You may not feel comfortable of being like this around these group of people. Like everybody don't co-sign your thinking,
Right.
and then you have more people.
Hopefully,
and if you get more people in time that come together, black. That's against it, then more people will kind of say something a little bit more versus just watching. Or ain't nothing worse than seeing ignorant stuff and folks just recording and laughing. That's I don't know, man. I'm older, but I'm grown. But I love how his point of views. I love how he speaks the truth. It might make you feel uncomfortable. It might be a few cuss words in there, but it's the daggone truth, raw.
yes.
He is probably the most, I've heard people tell the truth, but this brother is probably the most on point truth that I've heard in these 31-minute clips that make you feel uncomfortable if you are that person. It's going to make you real uncomfortable if you're that kind of person.
What gets me is a lot of people have the mindset of the reparations and you want to blame it on slavery. But when you think about it, the aftermath of slavery was elevation. Those people, yes, there was the Jim Crow phase, and yes, there was still racism after slavery was abolished. Yeah. But they still was able to come up and get very wealthy and very rich without government assistance.
That's when we blew up.
Yeah.
We got successful after slavery, after we start learning how to make money. And after we start doing business, we got successful.
They talk about the ancestors.
Hold on. But this is one little part I want to add in there. I believe we were so successful. Even with our towns, with Black Wall Street being burned down, black people still were successful. Yeah. But when I believe that we completely took a turn when drugs, government assistance, all that came into place, that was the black person's Achilles.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
If you didn't have those two things, I believe that if you didn't have those two factors alone coming into place, you wouldn't have a separation of the households, and you would have had the 50s supercharged with black success and black wealth. And when you have black success and black wealth, you're not going on and fighting against white people for something that was centuries. So it's just a thinking that people need to feel like this is the reason why I'm like this. No, you're the way like this because your mom was trash. And your dad was trash, and you hang around trash, and these are the reasons why it's like this. It's not because of slavery. It's your parent. It is.
Yeah, it starts at home all day. It starts, and they talk about ancestors. The ancestor. If our ancestor slave were able to come alive and be present in 2025, they would be horrified.
Yeah, I believe mortified.
They would be so hurt. They would be devastated to know the struggles that they experienced and what they worked hard and fought for to be able to have their own land, to be able to have their own crops, and to be able to have their own slaves. Black people were slave masters too. Now, I'm just saying, don't use slavery as a reason as to why these people are acting like complete fools, because that's not how our ancestors acted. It was the complete opposite. So it makes no sense for them to use slavery as to why these people are acting the way that they are, because it don't go. No.
I even heard, like, and I was surprised to hear this, but I'm still gonna get his book because I want the book. It's this guy it's a book that's going on TikTok. It's called How to Buy Land When You Poor and Build a Farm. And it seems like it's a good book to learn strategies about, you know, to be able to buy properties and stuff without having to spend a whole bunch of money. But I was watching one of his YouTube clips and somebody was talking to him about why the guy said he doesn't do business with black people. And then the guy who wrote the book said, well, we know that, you know, the reason why we act like this from slavery and stuff. No, I need to have a talk with you in real life. You might need to stick with property, but you don't need to talk about that, because that is not true. We are not the way we are because of slavery. We are because of parents' laziness and our ability, our excuse, and our lack of accountability. That's why, not because of slavery.
No.
None of us can recall a slave bone.
No.
Oh, I just have flashbacks of cotton.
Please.
You know, that's why I act like I
thing.
do. You man, please. You don't know nothing about it in the past, neither do I. Why would I care about something that far back?
The people
That's
who
not
are
affecting
owed
me today.
reparations no longer alive. The slaves are the ones who needed the reparations.
And I heard a clip that said,
because you're an ancestor of a slavery, your tail ain't never seen a day of being chained and locked up and beat, unless you've been in jail by choice.
Did you see that clip? It was a clip. This video said the guy was like, no, technically, Africa needs to pay reparations because that's where the slaves come from. The reparations need to come from Africa.
How about that?
That was raw.
How about that?
It don't need to come from America. It need to come from Africa.
How about
the source of letting them.
And yet people complain, but they don't go. You still here in the country.
Yeah.
And the few handful of us that have moved to Africa wish they had not sold their home to go over there.
Now I heard buying some land in Ghana is cool,
clips.
but I don't know trying to break away from America. That's just because you want to have a multi-residence and property.
I cannot.
But not from a standpoint I'm gonna run to another country.
No, the best sales and because if now isn't the time to sell, be great and beyond, then there'll never be. You'll always have an excuse and a reason as to why you can't come up. And when they became the first black millionaire, that killed that. First black millionaire happened after slavery.
Absolutely.
It was so many of them that were millionaires.
It was many. It was many that were millionaires.
So what is you saying?
And slave owners.
Please.
All right, y'all. Smash that like button.
That's so
like,
old.
comment, subscribe. We're gonna move on to the next video, and we'll see you on the next.